Good morning, Midwest Many Outdoors guests. I am here today with my good friend Lyubaka. He is the OG of my podcast. He was the very first guest I ever had. He's been kicked out of Hawaiian Cultural Centers for fly fishing for koi and also caught a big buffalo in a rubber dinghy. Good morning, Lyubaka. You want to introduce yourself?
Good morning, good morning, good morning. The OG Bulgarian alien
Yeah.
moved on this side of the pond back in 2000. Yeah.
Since highway batching shut down, what have you been up to?
Well, never shuts down, just evolves. No, I'm back in the Dells, so no more trucking for me. Hopefully I'll never have to go through something like that again. It was the closest to military service hopefully we'll ever get again. So yeah. It's a tough thing. More power to the ones that are still road rangering, because it's a very much needed echelon of the industry, but it's very much unappreciated, and people don't realize how much effort and funds people actually invest to do this. They think it's a gravy train, but it's nothing but. It's a very, very tough thing.
Yeah. I'm turning on my heater real quick down here because it's cold in my basement.
Getting kicked in your basement. How's the winter you've been having down in Illinois?
You guys, just a little bit less snow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From my friends, like the ones that are in the city, I'm hearing quite a bit of temperature difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had guests over for Christmas, a little after Christmas, and they flew in one kid from Florida because he wants to see snow at least once. He lives down in Stampede, and we still had snow for him, and I hear down by Chicago, snow was completely gone.
And Hans was back home last weekend. He said that you guys got a lot of snow over the weekend.
There was quite a bit, yeah. I mean, I was only once out on the ice. That's gotta speak volumes.
Did you catch anything?
I had one trout on Devil's Lake. And that was the only one I marked on the live scope. I mean, they moved in at least 3 of them. I had one on, and by the time I reached to pull out the transducer, it was already gone.
I got to play the live scope a little bit. Monica's boss, my friend Andrew Motz, he's a principal at where the school Monica works. He's also a guide in Wisconsin. He guides Lake Geneva.
You mentioned him before.
Yeah, and he's got a live scope, and we go to his. He lives on a private lake, and
so it's double cheating, huh?
Oh yeah, but he was like 5 minutes from my house. So, but this private lake is like a finger lake, and he'll put his Ranger boat in, and obviously saw a trolling motor in there. We'll use a trolling motor to get around, no big deal. But we catch big old bluegill out there. I was supposed to go ice fishing. Yeah, I was supposed to go ice fishing with them over break because they're off, and we got no ice. We got no. We got no good ice. It's making.
That's what happened to us. That's what happened to us just right before this last cold snap. So Sunday morning, I was out for milk on a milk run. I guess apparently one drinks coffee with milk, then the kids needed milk for fry bread or whatever my wife was trying to do, and my buddy called me and said, "Do you have any time?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm entertaining guests, so not really." But he said, "Well, at least half an hour because the crops are on fire." And I was thinking he's somewhere in the backwaters ice fishing, but he was actually open water fishing, and he wasn't kidding. Yeah, by the time I got the groceries back in the house and I woke up my friend, well, by the time we're down there, he almost had a half a 5-gallon pail of crappies, and he basically handed us rods and told us just fish because I'm almost limited out. And it was just, like there were people in the boats trying for walleye, the same spot where I got the buffalo and all that. Nobody was catching anything. We were catching crappies from shore. And it was like 40 some degrees and it was drizzling.
Yeah.
So I actually wanted to catch a walleye because that's like perfect. It was so overcast.
It's pretty walleye weather.
Yeah, it was like the weather that will keep the fishermen at home, but you should get the fish going nuts, and it did, but just for crappies. And they did stop at a couple of moments, which I'm assuming when the pike moved in, because they will not let this stand. You know, you flash those things around, it's like dangling keys to a car thief. Like there's no way. And we managed to snag into a braid, and I got to pull out a UV husky jerk, one of those size 12s there. Just like the swear by lure for the walleye down there.
Yeah. So
that was kind of lucky too. But I mean, by the evening the weather turned to crap, and it was just today it's 9. The feel is in the negatives, so you can't even go ice fishing. It's just ugly.
I think you're a couple degrees colder than me, but we're down single digits here right now. Okay, we're on.
No, it's the single digits.
Are you like an hour and 45 minutes from my house or something like that?
Well, I'm not a little foot like you. It's probably 2 hours. Plus, most of the times I've been down by USB with the truck, so definitely 2 hours.
My mom goes, "Are you and Lyubaka still friends?" And yeah, I go, "Yeah, we're still friends. He just doesn't drive truck anymore."
Yeah, I mean, I can be swinging by every time I get a spare hour.
I need to get you to come down here. I know you walleye fish up there, but I thought
no, your river is really good. Again, different times.
It's not different times. It's Kishwaukee. I caught all those. Did I send you a picture of all the walleyes I caught?
Yeah, I saw the walleyes and the smallest.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. And nobody fishes that river for walleye. It's always smallmouth or high.
That's usually what bodies of water you need to really target when people have completely different sets of things they go after, and then you can really clean up with a presentation that they don't even expect to be used there. That's the best. Kind of like on our river.
I caught my walleyes on a pinch and night crawler, a split shot, and go hook. Oh,
but that works everywhere. Come on, now
I was flipping out there and I go, "Oh, that's a walleye hitting!" Boom. I'm granted he caught sheephead and suckers and all that stuff, and
you get everything this way. That's why I get mad at my father-in-law when he goes really old school. He likes to use as many lines as possible. So, like in Wisconsin, that's 3. He likes to use grandpa. Yeah, he likes to use always live bait.
Yeah.
And then he likes to sit and eat sunflower seeds and wait for them to swallow it up to the butthole or tangle all his lines. So he spends most of his time swearing and cussing and untangling lines and retying. But he'll never change his ways. I'm convinced of that. There's no way he's institutionalized in this type of fishing.
At least he
much like
out enjoying life, though.
And that's why he hates when he has to go to the in-laws down in the city, because there's no fishing like that down there. I mean, like we say, it's for everybody in Chicago, this is their up north.
Yeah.
But for us, we want to go even farther up north to escape tourists and everybody, because the Dells gets to be a little bit too much in the season.
Yeah. Like we're going
up north is Door County.
We're going to the Dells in around June for the girls' birthday and my birthday.
Okay. That's prime catfish time.
Yeah, we did last year, but we're taking my mom and my David with, and we're gonna go stay at the Wilderness. I think that's where we're gonna stay.
It's one of the best, yeah.
We stayed at the Kalahari last year. I liked it, but it was crowded. It was right before outdoor season opened up. The food was good.
those places here have gotten insane. I mean, since COVID, they just
Blew up.
have been raking cash. It's craziness. And they've been doing these market pricings. Sometimes people will call me and ask me, like, what's the price for everything? I mean, I live here. I've never rented a room here, so that's one. But then again, you don't have any set prices. People pay whatever they tell them to pay.
Yeah.
And you can pay different price from one day to the other. The funny part is there's this thing, Dell's Hotels. It's like a corporation that was created out of thin air during the low interest rates, like the zero interest rates and the grants that the government was giving.
Yep.
So in between those big resorts, there's a bunch of new hotels that are like brand names, like Hilton or Holiday Inn, Staybridge, just all of those. They're just like little islands in between those big ones. And people usually, when they come for conferences and conventions, they will show up and they'll think, oh yeah, I'm cheating the system. I'll pay less at those brands and I'm going to use my points. And I'm not going to stay at the Kalahari or the Wilderness or Chula Vista. But what they don't know is that they're owned by the same people. It's just a different spot where they move money from one pocket to the other.
Yep. Now, you gonna go steelhead fishing at all this year?
I want to. I was just talking to my buddies by Sheboygan, and they're catching more through the ice. And right now in this weather, that's about what's to be expected. I wanted to go by Milwaukee, but it's gotten so dangerous, man. Like, you can't even park your car and not expect to not have your windshield broken in or just the driver's side.
That's why I wanted to go. It was Milwaukee and go fly fish for them.
They're doing a lot more. They're doing a lot more float fishing now with beads and stuff, and it seems. I mean, I'm sure everything will work. Put on waders and find a pool, and you're probably gonna slay them just with a spinner.
Yeah.
But again, it's gotten crazy down there. Just.
And I don't know. I didn't check the flow of the Root River at all to see how it was going for salmon season or anything like that. So.
They were catching, like, by Kenosha on the Pike River. They were doing, I guess, a lot better in the harbor than the river itself. But I only went out once for salmon in the Milwaukee River, just by the bridge there, where they had, like, away from the bridge, so on the side of the harbor, they had the salmon tournament, whatever is the King's Smackdown, whatever it's called.
Yeah. Yep. Like I know exactly what you're talking about.
That's like a slaughterhouse. I mean, there was just so many boats. You get a bite, and you know how they run. They tangle everybody around you because everybody's crowded in the same spots, and it's just soaking skin. So they're just moving around all the time. And we were out there basically. You know that I like to keep the hands because we cure the roe and we use it like old Russian style ikura for like the sushi grade stuff.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of guys that were fishing the tournament, and that's also kind of sucky because you're out in a boat and you're trying to handle fish okay, and then everybody's looking you sideways if you drop a fish instead of releasing it gently, and then you see the guys in the tournament pulling up to shore and just cutting the bellies of the hens and taking the eggs and dumping the fish right there. So it's very hypocritical, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So you still do that cowboy cooking and that big walk thing?
Anytime we go to camping trips, because we always go like a bunch of families, and I mean that walk is not for just a family. It's a lot of food. I mean, you cannot just fry a couple of eggs or something. You can if you want to, but it doesn't make any sense to heat it up and clean it to begin with. We do.
It is a walk, isn't it?
Those walks that we use, yeah. It's not a store-bought walk. It's from a farmer's combine. You know the big discs, yeah, and the big discs that they use to sift the topsoil. That's the kind of metal they use for those. And it's like traditionally it's that with two horseshoes welded on the sides as ears to maneuver. Yeah.
No, I'm surprised I can't. I should go and
And
ask.
and those are tough to get. Like a good quality one is tough to get. There's a joke about the guy that wanted a divorce because his wife washed his wok, like literally washed it silver clean. And the beauty is in it being burnt and get the extra flavor from the suits on top of it.
So I noticed you're back. You're producing more videos now. Now, can people? It's still YouTube only, right? Not TikTok.
I'm not even pushing any content lately. Just with I was going fishing a lot more this fall, so I had those little reel style vertical videos. So I just threw them together to kind of have a little bit of a reminiscence of posting stuff.
Xander goes, Lyubaka's back posting stuff again. Does that mean he's coming down to go fishing with us?
I mean, I wish, but I told you even before, it became way too much like work, especially when YouTube changed their stuff and started sending basically directives of how you should be composing your videos and what you shouldn't have. And the biggest thing for me, I got really disappointed when they started demonetizing channels because of those old America Online rulings.
Yep.
Because all my stuff has my kids in.
Yep.
And apparently, with the new, which is not new, it's old stuff. Instead of enforcing the bad actors that are actually preying on children, they're punishing creators because they want to have family-oriented content. It's just ridiculous. Makes no sense.
Yep.
And they used to, when my channels were doing well, when the algorithms had them floating to the top all the time, they used to actually allocate individual consultants to call you, much like we're talking on the phone right now, and they would go over some of your top things, and they'll give you basically instructions what to do and how to structure them. And it got to the point, I've told you about this before, when they were telling me, the quote was that because of Vine, if you remember those little square videos that were 6.7 seconds, don't even get me started on the 6-7 thing. But yeah, right. When they had that, they were telling me that people navigate within 3 seconds, navigate away. So the attention span, if you've noticed on TikTok, a lot of people, they try to catch you with the first second of the thing. And it's gotten to the point that brain rot, just ridiculous constant jump cuts, because you can't keep the eyeballs stuck for more than a couple of seconds. That's not the people I want. I don't want people with anxiety. I don't want this type of crowd. But this is what's encouraged, because this is what the advertisers actually are paying for. They want that type of person that will navigate away from somebody else's to go to theirs and stick with that. And I don't like that at all. And again, if it's not something that I enjoy, I like to do things that I enjoy. I'm at the stage where I want to make stuff for myself. I'm not making it for the crowd. And the biggest issue for me was, if you remember that video that I made about, I want to say 12 years ago, where I was pretending that I was laying on the ice and I pulled out that pike from the ice fishing hole. Okay, so back then, I already knew that that's not going to be a monetized video. So I contacted Jukin Media, and I gave them the rights to it. So in the same month, it made a couple of $100, and it's never made any money since. But that video has been ripped off so many millions of times on all the platforms. some of them have like hundreds of millions of plays, especially TikTok. And when I try to talk to Juke Media about it, they're telling me we don't have any control over it. We don't know how to stop it from getting monetized, and all sorts of excuses. At the same time, that just gets worse. I even saw it ripped off by that Yeti vlogs. So like the Bigfoot AI generated garbage.
Yeah.
So somebody prompted it to make a ice fishing spoof of that video. It even moves the same steps as I'm making in the video. So that pisses me off, because like it's supposed to be generative AI and it doesn't generate anything. It just rips off created stuff and masks it as something different and new. And again, like they say in the industry, there's not a drop of water in those videos that they make. Yeah, everything is CGI, and it's so stupid. Just people fall for that slop that's sloshing around the internet, the same stuff over and over and over, like giant animals or ridiculous, unbelievable stuff that only old lady on pills in the morning will believe. But it is what it is. So that's the long answer of why I'm not posting videos anymore.
Gotcha. On another note, let's say if somebody wanted to start fly fishing the Dells, not for trout, but for warm water species, you want to give somebody some advice on what to throw, and what all you can.
I used to have a lot of people contacting me before and actually wanted me to guide them, which I never did. I've taken out one gentleman from Milwaukee. He's a lawyer, and he's been all over the country fly fishing. My advice, as I've told you before, like if you want to really experience the thrill, try carp fishing on the fly.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that you tie that you've given me over the years, that's worked perfectly. But honestly, for carp, you can get any old fly, and just as long as you're positioned in the right spot, they're not by no means easy to catch. But once you have them pinned down in the location and you're patient enough and you don't move too noisily, then you can get one and just hang on then, because that's the real thrill. That's a combination of salmon and redfish all in one.
Yeah. Speaking of carp and salmon, our buddy Hans decided to make canned. He got this book from his grandpa, and he found it again. It was like a kettle full of fish. It was a cookbook of how to cook rough fish back in like the 60s, or made back then. And they had this thing for this recipe they're called canned carp. Tastes just like salmon.
And it probably tastes better than salmon, because salmon, especially the salmon that you get after they've come back from the lake, especially the late season stuff that's in his grandpa's days, they were snagging with the Polish pimple. It's those fish already have pretty much no protein left, and they're just done for, that. But I wouldn't eat canned salmon. I mean, I would try canned carp. The old school.
And he said it tasted all right.
The old school recipes usually they involve canning with tomato juice to dissolve the bones. So I would say the most similar thing that people nowadays still do is the whitefish. So pickled whitefish, that's probably the closest. But carp, like you generally just do the deep fried stuff, and then you soak the fish, because once it's deep fried, the bones have already kind of lost most of the material that will actually choke you or anything like that. So if you soak them in the tomato juice for long enough, the bones actually dissolve. So it's kind of like canned mackerel that you can buy at the stores. And it's not for everybody. I don't say it is. And plus, I'm gonna be 50 soon, so I gotta be watching how much greasy food and how much salt I eat.
Metallica, Pantera, and all them. That was a joke I did on one of my YouTube videos. I told somebody they gotta watch out how much fish they eat out of the rocker, because it's full of heavy metals like mercury and all that. And I said Metallica and Pantera. The guy goes, "Oh, really?" I go, "Yeah." Dude had no clue.
The joke went over his head for sure. We went to see Metallica and Pantera in the Twin Cities. That place has changed so much. I mean, since the sickness and all the riots and everything, it's no longer what it used to be, because we used to go there for DJ concerts. Again, I'm older now, so the world has changed too, but basically the Twin Cities was always just popping. And when we went there, it was August, and the only people in the streets were the Metallica t-shirts. And then you watch all the traffic lights have couches next to them. It's not the best. Yeah, boarded up windows downtown in St. Paul. No, a lot of the business has left, but the high rises are all over the place, and you see a lot of headquarters popping up. So yeah, the rich are getting richer, and the poor are getting pushed away.
Yeah,
pretty classic.
What's your number one species you fish for up there? It's walleye, right?
Well, walleye, yeah, but you know how I fish for them. Even Sunday when he called me, I know exactly what he's doing, but I'm always doing the weirdest thing just to try something especially when I know they're biting, like the crappies. So the first thing I was looking for was the fly rod. Well, I mean, it gives you so much of a different presentation. Just you can use heavier leader to present a smaller lure and keep it in the strike zone for so much longer. You're not using the real purpose of the fly rod. You're using a lot of the advantages it has just to, you know how many snags we have on our river. So if I'll be casting any other jig on slow moving water, will be lost every couple of casts. But if I use a small strike indicator to keep my depth a little bit above the bottom and just do little twitches, I can do so much better with a fly rod, especially like in the shallow areas around the dam where you have the fast moving water. There's just so many advantages of doing that. And again, a lot of the stuff that's usually bycatch, you end up just getting that all the time after a while. This November was so good with just 4-pound test and a small 1/32 ounce jig and 3-inch Kitek. That was just clean hits, like always in the corner of the mouth. And you get a 38-inch pike, not a break off on 4-pound test. You know, it has its thrills. And stuff is not standard. You know, you don't expect every time to get the same result, but there is a system to the madness. You know, we have smaller bait fish by us, so that's why we use the smaller size baits. Even for crappies, you know, further south you go, bigger baits they use. Like our buddy that moved in Arkansas, and he was using baby bluegills for crappies. You know, up here we use like a 1-inch little spike-shaped plastic, and that's it. You use just like a 1/100 ounce jig. That's it.
That's I use small. I kind of downsize down here too. Everybody else be throwing like bigger paddle tails. I like those Crunch City mares. I don't know if you know what those are. I found
there's just so many brands of things that are.
I think it's made by
They're redoing the. There's a few basic things that work, and everybody puts a little spin on them and tries to present them like they came up with sliced bread.
I now use like a purple with white. It's purple, blue, and with a pearl belly on it.
Okay.
It looks like a river shiner. That's what it does. And I'll use a 3-inch one and flip it out there and slow my roll and beat up on walleye in the rock.
You get anything like this. You get anything like this in the current, whatever's sitting to bust the minnows. You catch the sheephead, you catch the smallmouth, you catch carp and suckers like that.
My buddy Kevin, he floats. He's a live bait fisherman, but he'll also when he don't want to drag live bait, he throws swifter tails. That's all he throws. And dude, he'll catch his limit, but he'll run double.
What's the limit on walleye down by you? They reduced the limit to 3 in Wisconsin.
6 and 14.
Okay. By us, we still have the protected slot, so it's like 15 to 20.
Rock River past Sterling, it goes 5, and there's a slotment like from 17 to 22 you can't keep. But I never fish down there because I can go. You've been here. I can go 5 minutes from my house and fish the same set of waters what's down there. And
no, you have some good waters. You have again just those cities have changed so much. You know,
like when I took you to the cottage to go fishing that one time in downtown Rockford. Well, the Facebook ruined that place. Before, like when we would go there, no one really fished it. No one knew it. Like there was a few of us that fished for smallmouth, but that was it. And there was muskie and walleye that would run up there in like springtime. Well, since it got out, there's the size of smallmouth that went down. They're still in there, but they're shy as hell.
That's one thing I miss about the trucking is just some of those rivers like in Pennsylvania, so abundant smallmouth, just ridiculous.
Now, I never took you to the brown trout spot, have I? And
you've talked about it many times, but we never got around to it.
I can't remember if we went fishing or not.
I never took the Illinois trout stamp. I never fished for trout down by you because we have plenty of it around here.
But I've been hearing rumors that the population's got back up because a lot of land's been bought by the NLI property, and they don't let it's really private. But my sportsman's club I'm a member of manages the land for the NLI, so I'll take my fly rod and go fish the property a bunch while we're out there working. And
did I tell you one time I got almost trampled by cows when I was trout fishing? So I had my Minnesota trout stamp, and there's a rest area directly west of La Crosse. So sometimes if I would have to plan my day, it falls kind of like in the middle, so I could take a break when I'm coming back from the Twin Cities. Yeah. And I usually prefer to take 90. So 94 is the north one. That one has a bunch of way stations, and the river there is not for trucks. But 90 has a lot of spots where you can actually pull up with a truck and fish. Like both rest areas on both sides of La Crosse actually give you access to the river. And there's a rest area which is on the eastbound when you're coming in. You can see on Google there's a trout stream in the bottom of the hill. So I had just my spinning rod like a small thing like a Berkeley lightning rod or something like that. Yeah. They picked up for one time in Florida because their freshwater stuff is like super cheap because nobody buys it down there. Yeah. And I climbed down that hill, and it was just nonstop brookies and browns. It was just insane. And you get carried away when you're catching fish. And I look behind me, and there's like 3-4 cows. But one is just aggressively getting closer. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? So I started walking, and that thing started running, and I just cleared that hill like in no time. Yeah, they don't play. They always say that the chance is never zero to get taken out by a cow.
Then Hans he's in South Dakota now, but he's got the Black Hills trout fishing figured out. Because he hunts there a lot, and he always goes between there. He goes a couple of different cities because he works at SDIU now, South Dakota State University. And
He's still been butchering animals in his apartment.
yes, he is. He's
I don't
moving.
know how this kid doesn't get kicked out. It's just
He's moved into his he's moved into his garage now,
okay.
but he's still he'll take a quarter inside and do it on his dining room table. But he got 3 deer this year, and that's what he lives off of. He has a freezer full of fish because he fishes every damn day. But that's the joy of being single, I guess.
Yeah, that's one of the benefits.
He's trying to break the 40. He fishes this lake called Goose Lake up there all the time because like 5 minutes from his house. Dude catches monstrous walleye out of these prairie pothole lakes up there. But he's trying to break the 40 limit. 40 size. He's got a 39 3/4 inch pike. That's the biggest pike he's caught out of there. So he's trying to break the 40s.
But that's like fishing in Siberia, like it's almost like fishing in Canada.
Yeah.
Although there's so many waters there that are not even populated that much. There's some native land around there where they actually spear a lot of those game fish. But other than that, they're not targeted at all. Plus, I mean, that's why I started that other hashtag, the fishy jobs, because he's got a pretty fishy job,
Yes,
you get out there as a soil scientist, they send you, those fields, you got to be passing a bunch of bridges, so you might as well just pull up and try and fish.
Evie nicknamed you the Dirt Doctor. and it sticks.
He's a cool guy. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
One day he's gonna settle down. He's gonna get married, and his fishing days are gonna be over.
he figured out he's gonna stay in South Dakota because he goes, I'm in between everything. But I want to go hunt out west and go hunt out west. It's only 5 hours from my family in Wisconsin. So
it's a beautiful area, but again,
I don't know if he's gonna settle down. He might want to, but I told him he's got to lower his standards. And he goes, "Why do you say that?" I said, "Hans, I'm one of your good friends. You just got to lower your standards." I said, "You're not. You have a unique personality."
Pick one up when he was in Texas. Yeah. I don't know, man. If you didn't pick one up in Texas, I don't know what's out there for him.
Dude, he hated it there in Texas. He goes, "There's no muskie." I go, "Yeah, you moved to Texas."
But you have 30-pound stripers and a 15-pound bass, so yeah.
He don't like ditch pickles. But yeah, I should say most of them on my podcast I have like a list to go down, but like this is for like
just winging it today.
Yeah, I'm just winging it today. Yeah. Because we're old friends, and
what did you think of the fact that Bass Pro bought hobby kayaks? What did you think about that?
I had no idea.
Oh, there's just so much behind the scenes going on in this industry that's just so crazy and borderline insanity, stuff that you would never have expected.
Yeah, don't even get me started on Bass Pro, because when they bought Cabela's, or however you say it.
Yeah, Cabela's, yeah.
That pissed me off.
I mean, the private company doesn't have to answer to stockholders. It's private equity. They can do whatever they please. Kind of like the Loves down the street from you, that truck stop. Everybody else has to answer to the stockholder meetings. These guys can do whatever they want, and they choose to write the check and behind the scenes make a move like that. They don't have to answer to anybody.
And now we got a quick trip here. We got 2 quick trips here in town. And
I mean, they're moving. They're moving into Illinois big time.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be interesting one day, because if you remember the old joke and meme about Dollar General, that nobody knew how they keep popping everywhere. It was like a disease.
Like Walgreens.
Well, right. The Walgreens already went to the pain train, like they already done for.
Yep.
They already got bought. That used to be the old school dream of the Western Europeans. They used to get together a few families, buy enough Walgreens stock, and that was their retirement. Pays a dividend. People will always get sick and go for medications, but that changed. So, one day, Quick Trip keeps moving on Casey's, and Casey's is the one that's publicly traded. Quick Trip is the one that's private. But at some point, you outgrow that base, and you cannot grow anymore.
Yep.
And all the local administrations are so favorable to them because they open so many jobs. But years ago, Walmart was 24 hours, and now they're only open whatever hours they can manage to staff with people.
Yep.
Quick Trip are doing the same thing. They're 24 hours, but there will come a time when they cannot offer those jobs, and then the local administration is not going to love them anymore because times will change.
You're 100% right there. Walmart around me is still 24 hours, but I don't go to Walmart because I don't like it. I used to work there. I avoid that like the plague, dude.
It's
On your ice fishing for panfish, are you a noodle rod guy or? I already know the answer to this. I'm just saying it out there for my guess. You like your palm rods more than anything.
I like the palm rods, yeah. If it's going to be shallow water, like backwater stuff, 4 to 6 feet, definitely palm rod all day. But I can't see how, the guys with the noodle sticks, especially the ones that fish broad daylight, I rarely do that. I rarely fish broad daylight. It's either early in the morning or later in the evening. So for me, I'm rarely above the hole to kind of spook fish away. I can see how, a noodle rod like 4 foot or something like that, so you're kind of away from the hole and you're not spooking the crappies and bluegills. I can see how that would work.
We had to take my wife's sister to Madison up there for surgery, and we were right there when everybody was ice fishing.
The triangle.
Yep.
Yeah.
I wanted to go so bad.
They have a taxi on the ice there.
You're shitting me.
No, like when you're going for perch, they'll have guys out on shore. It used to be like $5 or whatever. They'll take you with the ATVs, and they know exactly where the action is. So they'll take you like in the village, basically. Drive you all the way out there. You call them, they come and pick you up after that. With the drop kill.
Justin, look off to your left. They go, yeah, that's a triangle. She goes, what are they all fishing for? I said, bluegill.
There's some really big bluegill there.
And she goes, what?
There's a few channels out there that are kind of public access.
Yeah.
So as soon as the water starts to warm up a little bit, the bluegills will start to go in those channels, the pre-spawn, so you can fish them with a fly rod or with a cork like in foot of water, and you catch those same big bluegills, open water, and just that comes. That's again, around here, people are usually done ice fishing by Christmas, and it's already waiting for the open water. This is usually the signal for us here when they break the shelf ice below the dam. You know that River's Edge will send like a couple of aluminum boats to break the shelf ice and push it into the river, and then push it all the way so it doesn't get stuck somewhere, so that the boats can come all the way up. Yeah, and that's
open and away you go.
Yeah, and that's usually the sign that from that point on, it's walleyes are on. Because come January, February, the big females will be already getting ready around here. So
last year I was out walleye and smallie fishing at the shelf in February in winters.
No, that's and the winters have been so much milder. So right now, if I know my line is not gonna freeze, I would not hesitate. I get too old to dink around with ice fishing. If I can get out and get to my spots, just put the boots on and get out there.
I told you I bought some Sims waders, right?
Yeah, the lifetime warranty.
I got sick of going through 3 pairs of waders in a year.
It makes sense. All of my pairs have holes in them right now, and I haven't gotten around to fixing them. I have the Cabela's, the heavy duty 500 gram. And those work for me.
I got the G3 Sims, and you go like they're not insulated, but I have
you gotta wear long johns and
so yeah, that's what I do anyway. And man, you can move and bend in them. And I've had to repair them. I've sent them out. And they replace the stocking feet in them, which only cost them $65 every time they do it. Not bad.
One time when I hired a guide on the Yakima River in Ellensburg, so they have this chart that's about ethical trout fishing. So they were explaining how any water temperature in the 60s, you're borderline in the 70s, it's a crime basically, because those fish are not gonna make it. But he took me out, the water was like 54 or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a float trip, so basically he would keep me in some spots, and he wanted to check if I know how to cast, and he would tell me like which underbank to try to pitch to. And we were catching like tiny, like 4 or 6 inch trout, but it was so much fun. All of stuff like native species, like they were catching some cherry salmon, which I don't even know if it's a salmon, it's some kind of a trout. But
Yakima is in Seattle, is it Washington?
Washington State, yeah. When I was coming back from Seattle, it's a pretty big state, so it's kind of away from Seattle, but yeah. So the story was, he was telling me that the local wardens are so watchful for whatever's happening. They actually came to his door because I guess one of his clients took a picture of a steelhead, and the fish wasn't touching water. When he basically had it lifted out of the water a couple of inches, and they were at his door within hours. To enforce that that's illegal. And the water was so freaking cold. He had me wet wait a couple of times, and I could barely hang in the water there for a few casts with streamers. And I went back to the float tube, and then we get in the main river, and you see the college kids tubing with their balls hanging in the water. And I'm like, what is wrong with these people? How do they do that? But I guess when you're young and drunk, you don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, it was insane. I would be blue just touching that water, and they were just enjoying themselves.
That trout stream I fish up in Michigan, where Monica's family lives.
I
thought it was July. I thought I was gonna go wet wait up there. Hell no.
No, it's crazy.
I didn't think about taking the water temperature. I had my wading boots on and shorts, and her cousin goes, Justin, what did you do? I said, I go wet wait. About 5 minutes. He goes, you're blue, your lips are blue. I said, oh yeah. I said, I'm gonna go warm up, sit in the sun, and then put my waders back on.
No, it's not a joke. When we were kids, there's a few mountain streams, like in the tallest mountains in the southwest of Bulgaria.
Yeah.
And you go, and it's clean water. You can drink it. It's crystal clear.
Yeah.
And I was feeling it was like super hot because we're hiking. I say, I'm gonna just set my feet in. I see this little puddle. You can literally jump across that creek.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just gonna get in and just wet my feet. I hopped in. It was above my nose. You can't even tell how deep it is. It's just ridiculous. And then, go ahead.
That's like Bounty Waters up in Minnesota. You don't realize how deep that is. I dropped my tackle bag and it went down, so I'm going to go dive for it. And I dove for it, and my ears
can barely reach. Yeah, you can barely reach now. No, it's craziness. It's just some of this stuff is. Or again, that cold water, we would wet wait to catch crayfish, and I'm stepping up on a rock, and like the whole rock is covered in blood. I guess I stepped on a bike tire.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the brake cylinder,
Yeah.
and I cut my seal open, but it's so cold I didn't even feel it. It's just memories.
Ribbon leeches. That's because you're up in body waters and you have to like bathe in the lakes to stay like somewhat clean. So
Yeah.
I think you're up there for 2 weeks and you're sharing a tent with somebody. And a freaking foot long ribbon leech came up right next to me. I said, "The hell with this." I was doing my best impression of Jesus Christ walking in water. I was getting the hell out of there.
Oh yeah.
And fish don't eat those freaking ribbon leeches either. Which I don't blame them.
Those blind leeches, they're predators. They'll eat tadpoles, they'll eat frogs, they'll eat anything they can get to. Because all they do is just crawl on the bottom, and whatever has any blood in it, they'll just suck it dry.
Hans cleaning a walleye right before he left for Christmas, and it was through the ice. He cleaned a walleye that had a frog in its stomach.
Oh, not surprising.
I guess they go down and pull them out of the mud.
Yeah.
But we're at 50 minutes here, Lyubaka, and I know you got to get your day started. I really appreciate this. My house is waking up. I can hear them upstairs. So,
well, I hope you had a good year. I hope the next one's even better. Hope everybody's healthy.
Yeah.
But remember to do what you love, because life is way too short, right?
Yes, and we definitely have to get together. I have a Wisconsin fish line session. Drive up there. Me and Hans were trying to get together with you and Andrew and get Andrew Motz out there and go fish a Clear Lake in North Rock County over like the break, see if you can do it. But then the ice turned to shit, so that didn't happen. That's a lake you should look into. They got big bluegill on there. It's a small lake.
But pretty soon there'll be excellent fishing everywhere again.
Oh yeah. I'll have to get you out with me and Motz in his boat when he's on the Wisconsin River. He's up near
to the point where there's way too many distractions. You can't figure out what to go after.
Yeah,
that's probably best.
He likes fishing Geneva, and he goes, "It's pretty cool when he's on Geneva because he has that front-facing sonar, that light scope, and all of a sudden you're jigging for walleye, and you have this big blurp that comes in off the bottom. You know it's a lake trout." And he goes, "And when they hit and you're fishing light tackle, he goes, you're never getting that thing in. You're in for a ride, but you're never gonna get it in." But I've never really
look forward to.
Alrighty, but you have a nice day, and I will holler at you later. Thank you, Lyubaka.
Have a happy New Year.
You too. Bye.